Alright, cool. Welcome back. We are going to be talking about Airtable in this video, and we are going to be showcasing how you can automatically place Airtable content using, automation tools to show up this kind of blog post on your Webflow website. So we're going to dive right in here really quickly. So I'm going to show you. So we have this blog that was written with Notion AI, and then for context, in case you haven't watched the previous videos, we used Google Search Console, which is running in the background, to identify a term that we wanted to rank for that we weren't getting clicks for, but we were showing up 28th in the Google search. So inside of Airtable, I actually have this already constructed, and I'm going to show you what this would look like. I don't think there's any point in really showing or creating it again, but I'm going to make this a little bigger so you can see. But essentially here, inside of Airtable, this is a no-code database tool. It looks very, very similar to Google Sheets, but it has some really strong functionality that we can use to essentially link it using an API connection to a Webflow website. So the important thing to realize is that these columns are considered fields inside of Airtable, and these same exact fields are going to exist inside of our Webflow content management system or the Webflow CMS. So I'm actually going to quickly show you inside of Webflow. Before we even dive into Airtable, I want to show you what this looks like in Webflow, because kind of having a clear picture here, this will make it a lot more clear, really. It'll just make it a lot easier to understand. So inside of Webflow, this is your CMS tab, and you can actually see, you can create multiple different CMS collections. As you can see, we have a whole bunch here, but we're going to go into blog posts because that's what we're talking about. So if you click this gear icon, you can actually see your blog post settings or your collection settings. And like I said before, these are fields. Each one of these columns is a field that coincides with and has a twin field inside of your Webflow. So for example, here you have a blog post title, blog post link, blog post excerpt, etc., etc., etc. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you develop not only this CMS field inside of your Webflow CMS or inside of your collection inside of Webflow, but you also want to have a twin field inside of an Airtable. And so likely you'll start with an Airtable and then develop your Webflow website, but I wanted to show you the reason why we're choosing these things is because eventually the content that is going to be shown in each one of these rows is going to coincide with a new blog post that shows up in our Webflow website. And the beauty of this and the reason why we're doing it is because we can do it very quickly. We don't have to actually copy and paste anything from our Notion AI doc into Webflow, because we can actually do all of this from our phone and just and having automation tools that are running in the background using webhooks, it's going to automatically update our website for us. So there's a lot of nuance there, but again, these are no code ways to essentially automate things. So anyway, we're going to go back into our Notion AI doc here, just pull it up. Again, this is how to choose your business to business marketing budget. So we are going to close this again really quick. We're going to create a new row in here, and we are going to copy and paste pieces of the blog post into here. So blog post title, we'll grab that and place this in here and paste it in here. And this is going to auto update. This is going to be important for our make automation, which will show up in a later video. It's just going to be essentially showing you how we are able to automatically post social media content using OpenAI, ChatGPT to write captions for us, and then using this blog content to help inform those captions. The AI it's basically going to be able to write this stuff for us, and then Make, which is an automation tool, is going to be able to post for us automatically with a click of a button in seconds, which is really cool, and we'll show you in a sec. But anyway, let's continue forward. So we'll just say for this blog post link, this is going to show up inside of Webflow, and it's important not to have any backslashes in here. This is really just the last slug area that you're going to have. So we'll just say how to choose your marketing budget B2B. And I'll maybe just throw in SAS there at the end too. Blog post excerpt, what I like to do here is I will just grab, I'll just grab this first part and throw it in here. So I'll come back, throw it, and I like to just open it up, like double click, left click in there. And then it's actually just asking for the blog post content. So we'll just take the whole piece of content. And this stuff is essentially already showing up for us, so we don't want to grab it again because it's going to make the blog look weird. I'll show you what this looks like here in a second because it will automatically update on my site. But we're going to grab this, and it's going to grab this content, and we are going to throw it in here. So I'm going to hit copy, and I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to hit paste. Now, blog post featured thumbnail. We don't actually have a thumbnail created. We can probably just go through and create one really quickly. For the purposes of this video, I don't really want to. I guess we could showcase Canva AI, something that people really don't talk about a lot. So let's actually do it. Let's showcase it. Because you know what? I'm all about bringing value to you guys. And again, you know, people talk about DALL-E 2 and all that stuff, but no one really is talking about this kind of content here, which is pretty cool. So we are going to jump in here really quick. I'm going to probably delete almost all of the stuff that's on here. So I'm just going to, for now, we're just going to delete everything. And we are going to go into apps, and we will do text to image AI, which is popular. And we'll say, so this goes into a little bit of prompting for AI and developing images, but it's really cool. And again, this is a free thing that comes along. I mean, you obviously are paying for Canva Pro, but there's a lot of other benefits to Canva Pro. Most people aren't even using this text to image capability. So we could just say marketing, money, synthwave. I really like the way like the images look whenever you do this, and I'm just gonna say portrait because I'm gonna actually maybe put it only on the right here, and I'm just gonna say, you know, create image. And so this is gonna create 4 images for us that are going to be completely AI developed. It's gonna look really weird probably, but it could be kind of cool, so who knows. We got 2. This one looks like it could work. I don't really like these. Let's just try one more time. Marketing budget. Or we could say like business. Business. City. Business in the city. Synthwave. Boom. Okay, let's try that one more time. This will be interesting because maybe it'll be like more skyscrapers. And just like something interesting, eye-catching to show on the right. So I'm going to take this one. So whenever you click, I'm going to take this one and this one. So when you click these, they actually automatically get uploaded, which is really cool because if you ever want to add them back later, you can. So I'm actually going to delete them now. As you can see in the uploads, they show up here on the left, which is pretty cool. So then I'm just, like I said before, I'm going to throw in a quick grid and just move this over here on the right. And then I'm going to select maybe this image, throw it in here, and then I'm going to I'm just gonna search like, okay, so here, this is actually amazing. I'm gonna copy and paste all this, and then delete, and then I'm gonna grab like, probably like, let's just take this one. Okay, I'm gonna delete this guy, delete these background images, paste this that I just copied, and then we'll say like mark. Okay, I don't like how big this is. So again, this is the beauty of Canva, is you can just like take something that, you know, looks pretty nice. I don't have to put too much effort into it, and then we can just kind of roll with it. So B2B marketing. Okay, so we'll say B2B marketing, B2B ad budgets, and then I'll just say explained. Yeah, because this is literally for like the blog post itself. And this is kind of like really, I don't know if I really like it, but it's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay. Group that together so I can kind of move it around a little bit. Maybe make it a little smaller. And then what I want to do is I want to just throw in my face. So I'm going to throw in like this guy. And I will throw him down here, and I will just background remove real quick. And this is gonna make this look a little nicer for us. Cool. Look a little more official. And then I will make him a little smaller. Kind of weird referring to myself in the third person, but I'll take it. BDB marketing, ad marketing, and then I kind of want to bring this like to the front. So like, yeah, that way I can like maybe move it over a little bit and then also make it bigger. Cool. So I know this is like somewhat off topic, and this probably looks like crap a little bit, but hey, we're gonna like roll with it for now. I'll make myself a little bigger as well, and maybe we'll bring this guy to the front. Okay, people like to crap on, you know, they really like to crap on Canva, but you can make some cool stuff pretty quickly. And then let me just quickly change this to like, oh man, I don't like that. It's like this weird like light blue color. I kind of want to make it like something that pops a little better. That's also like somewhat branded. Maybe if I just change this background. There we go. If I just change this to like red maybe, and then change the text to white. Yeah, and then I just change this maybe to like red. Would that look better? That looks horrible. This is why I'm not in creative. So we'll just make it white. That looks actually worse too. I think it looked better with orange, honestly. Okay, we'll leave it. Again, this is just a blog post, so it's not that big of a deal. Not that deep. Not that deep. Cool. We'll leave this here for now. Again, this is also just for like a video, so really not too bad. Man, I really hate that orange. I'm gonna actually fix this really quick. Sorry, guys. That orange is just horrible. I think black, honestly, could be cool. Whoa. Okay, yeah, I actually think that looks better. Okay, cool. Alright. And then we'll just say automated SEO. We'll just say B2B ad budgets. I like to put this in the file name just for SEO purposes. It actually does get read by the search engines, believe it or not, which is pretty cool. Cool, this is gonna download. We're gonna upload it into our, so remember what we were actually doing here is adding things to our Airtable. So we're going to add this to our Airtable now, drop it here, and then there's a couple linked fields here, which these are important if you have like an author and you have like a category associated with each one of your blogs. So really all you have to do is create like 2 new tables that would, you know, encompass all of the collection fields that are in your Webflow collections as well. So for example, we have blog posts here, but we have linked fields. So we have author collection and category collection. So if I show you guys these really quick, you're gonna wanna like basically take all of these pieces and make sure that they are linked inside of this. And for example, author, you're going to want to make sure that the author has all of these pieces linked in here. And then the same would be said with categories. You're going to want to link all of those and have twin, essentially, fields in both. That way, whenever you do your automation, you are able to use those relative fields. So just a little bit nuanced there, and we could probably make more videos on this in the future. But again, it's just a little bit important to know. But anyway, for purposes of this video, we're just going to select the 2 categories, and we will choose SEO, and then we'll say 623, and we don't have a live link yet, but for all intents and purposes, this row is done. So now I'll quickly show you what this looks like inside of WhaleSync. So we're done with Canva. I'm going to close that. Inside of WhaleSync, it just says that it updated 7 seconds ago. And in fact, if I go back to my website and show you on the blog, you are going to see a new blog post that shows up here. So it says B2B ad budgets explained. As you can see, this automatically happened. So how did this automatically happen? Well, let's show you. So whenever you go into this tool called WhaleSync, this is a paid tool. It costs like $40 a month, but it is a massive time saver because I'm not manually going and adding blog posts. It's happening for me automatically. So I'm going to actually turn this off, and then I'm going to show you what this looks like. So basically, you'll connect your apps together, which you can see here. So I've connected the Airtable, and I've connected the the Webflow instance. So very simple, just very basic API connections and OAuth and authentication stuff. Really simple stuff. And then whenever you're putting in, like, you're basically clicking the table. So for example, each one of these little fields up here, these are tables. So you're going to select each table, and you're going to mark the twin table, like I said before, that is inside of your Webflow. And the reason why we're connecting the authors to the authors and the categories to the categories is because we have those relative fields. You may not actually have authors, or you may not actually have categories inside of maybe a very simple CMS that you've put together. And so if that is the case, then you don't necessarily need to connect these. And in a lot of cases, if we're just mass creating pages doing like PSEO, we only have one table in here. But since we are having relative linked fields, then we have multiple. So anyway, though, you link the tables, and these arrows basically designate the connection and the flow of data. So you can have two-way syncs where if something changes in Webflow, then it does change in the Airtable, and vice versa. I personally really like to only make sure that when Webflow or when Airtable is updated, data only flows from Airtable to Webflow. That way, in case I'm ever in Webflow and I delete a collection item, or I delete a blog, it doesn't just delete it inside of Airtable. I like to keep it inside of Airtable for just kind of like documentation and history purposes. So with that being said, that's why this flow is important. And then the fields, I mean, this is just like really bringing it home here because we've already kind of set all this up before. Again, in this video, we aren't actually showing you how to develop this. This is going to be a future video, but developing a CMS in here is relatively simple, and linking fields is also relatively simple. And we'll show that in the next video, and kind of like what this looks like. But we used WhaleSync to connect all of these things together. Generally speaking, when you're putting your Airtable together and you're putting together your collection inside of Webflow, you're going to want to name them the same thing. That way it just like syncs very seamlessly and you don't even really have to do much. So as you can see, almost all of these are almost the exact same wording. Blog post author is blog post author, blog post excerpt is blog post excerpt. You get the idea. I basically named them the same exact thing. That way it auto maps by name. I don't even have to do any work. If I did, I would just have to like click add field, and then I'd go through and add like each one of these, which is just like tedious. So it's really nice to name them the same thing so it's not confusing. And that being said, you do the same for author and category, and you click save changes. And then that is pretty much it. And then you just make sure that it's turned on, and it's always going to update for you via just sort of like a webhook connection. So anytime something changes, then it will be updated. So that is pretty much how you are creating your Airtable and how you are syncing that Airtable information into your Webflow website. In the next video, we are actually going to be kind of showcasing what that looks like inside of Webflow, how we kind of developed that, and how you're linking these fields together, and what that kind of, and why that's important. So if you're interested in that, then check out our next video.